I want to make sure this is completely understood, okay? Last night I made the TikTok Do Better video talking about, how TikTok needs to protect its live hosts and its content creators more than it is doing. So I want to make sure I'm very clear on this. I do understand how unsettling it is to have people that are ridiculously obsessed with you, right? They will go to all measures to be able to monitor everything you're doing, whether it's content, whether it's live streaming. And I referenced using a computer to go through a browser onto TikTok without logging in, viewing your live streams. They obsessively record them. They can, in fact, see the chat that is happening within your live stream as well. I want to point that out, so be very mindful of that. But what they don't understand, and yes, I have people on this app that are, like, I'm really starting to think that they have a crush on me. Like, they wish that I was like their significant other or something. But the reality is, that if they're doing that, unfortunately, TikTok does need to do better. It needs to change its policies. It needs to change a lot of things. But if you can get law enforcement to listen to you, and I realize a lot of them just are uneducated when it comes to cyber crimes, but if you can get them to listen, they can, in fact, have their computers, meaning people that you have evidence against, they can have their computers subpoenaed. If the federal government gets involved, they can subpoena those computers and they will search all browsing history. They will search all search history to see if these people or person, because it's not usually just one person, right? They run in groups. But if they are, in fact, using a computer to access you after being explicitly told to stay away. So I realize that it's very nerve-wracking and it can be a lot for some people. For me, I don't speak very much about it because, quite honestly, it's not done yet. But it can be nerve-wracking. And just know that there are protections out there, and everything, you hear this all the time, everything in the darkness comes to light. So once somebody's computer is subpoenaed or their phone is subpoenaed under court order, they're not going to be able to hide what they're doing. And we really need to get law enforcement to start listening more before an ultimate tragedy happens. But until then, just know that you have the right, it is your First Amendment right, to active petitioning. And what that means is going to law enforcement, going above your local police department, your local precinct, go to the superiors within the department, go to internal affairs, go to your county executives or your mayors, and then escalate it from there. And then ultimately, if you have to file it with the FBI, then definitely do that. There's proper ways to do that too. But keep petitioning actively and openly, and do not allow these people to intimidate you. And they try. I will tell you, they try. If y'all saw the video the other night with those threatening text messages, all they do is they always trip themselves up. They absolutely do. They make mistakes because they think that they are untouchable. They think that they are behind anonymity. They think that they can do whatever they want and that boundaries and normal civilized behavior doesn't pertain to them. And then when it's brought to light, all of a sudden they can't face themselves. Their psyche cannot accept their own behavior. And I'm not analyzing anybody. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just saying it's normal patterns of behavior. So keep advocating for yourself. Keep actively petitioning for yourself. It is your First Amendment right. And, if you have to keep escalating it, that's where your 14th Amendment comes in, because you have the right to due process. You do. And if law enforcement is ignoring you and they're not taking it seriously, like, one of the things you need to do is when you're talking to law enforcement, ask them, what is the threshold? What is the threshold for you to actually get involved? And see what they say and make sure you're documenting it. It's always better to get that in writing.